The biggest mistake most men make with women is thinking that love means putting her at the center of everything. From the time we're young, we're taught that real devotion means sacrifice, that to prove we care we must place her above ourselves, above our purpose, and above the very things that make us who we are. So we pour everything we have into her. Our time, our focus, our money, our energy, all of it. We stop investing in ourselves because we think the ultimate expression of love is to make her our reason for living. And at first, it feels like it's working. She smiles at the attention. She praises your effort. She enjoys being put on the pedestal you built for her. But what men fail to realize is that this pedestal becomes a prison for her and a death sentence for attraction. The more you make her your entire world, the less she respects you. She doesn't actually want to be the center of your existence. She wants to orbit a man whose existence is already centered. She wants to feel like she's joining something solid, not replacing it. When you start neglecting your mission for her, she senses that something vital in you is gone. The fire she admired begins to dim. The drive that made her desire you fades. What once drew her in now quietly pushes her away. When you make her your mission, you kill the polarity that sparked her attraction in the first place. Women are drawn to men with something larger than them driving their lives. A vision, a standard, a direction that stands above everything. That's what earns her respect. That's what makes her feel safe trusting you. Lose that and you lose her. When you make her the point of your existence, you hand over the very strength and mystery that drew her in the first place. At first, it feels good to her. She feels chosen, cherished, and prioritized. But as time passes, she starts to test you more and more. These tests are not random. They are her way of finding out whether the man she was first drawn to is still there. She wants to see if you still have a backbone or if you've traded it away to keep her happy. She pushes your boundaries, creates friction, throws emotional storms your way, not because she hates you, but because she wants to feel the edges of your strength. She wants to know that no matter how hard she pulls, there is something inside you that will not move. Women crave the stability of a man who can resist them. They feel safest when they know that your life does not bend with every emotional shift. But when she sees that she can pull you off your path with a single mood swing or a bit of drama, her respect for you begins to disappear. And once respect is gone, attraction is right behind it. That's why so many men who give her everything end up abandoned. They believe their devotion should have been enough, but devotion without strength feels like weakness. What she was chasing was never your gifts, never your compliments, never your constant attention. She was chasing the man who stood unshakable in his own center. The moment you gave that center away, the chase ended. And once the chase ends, the polarity that keeps love alive slowly dies until she no longer feels the pull that made her want you. The paradox most men miss is that the more they center their lives around a woman, the more invisible they become to her. At first, she enjoys the attention. It feels romantic to be someone's priority. It makes her feel special, chosen, even powerful. But slowly, that power begins to feel heavy. She starts to feel like she's carrying your entire emotional world on her shoulders. That weight turns what once felt flattering into pressure. You may think you are loving her, but she feels suffocated. She doesn't want to be your reason for waking up in the morning. She doesn't want to be the sole thing that keeps your world turning. She wants to feel like she is stepping into a man's life that is already full, already meaningful, already alive before she arrived. When you call her your everything, you think it sounds like devotion, but to her, it sounds like you have nothing else. It makes her wonder why you are so available. It makes her wonder why you aren't pursuing something greater than her. She begins to see you as a man without direction, a man without an edge. And when that happens, she is forced into a role she never asked for. She becomes the leader of a man who used to lead her. That kills the polarity that created attraction in the first place. A woman wants to follow a man who has a path. She does not want to feel like she has to create one for him. And when you make her the center, she feels that burden. Respect quietly dies, and with it, her desire. She doesn't leave because she stopped loving you, she leaves because she stopped admiring you. Making her your center slowly erodes your ambition in ways you often don't notice until it's too late. At first, it feels good to be so available to her. You cancel plans to spend time together, you skip the gym because she asked you to stay in, you turn down opportunities because you want to make sure she feels prioritized. You tell yourself that this is love, that this is what a good man does for his woman. But over time, those little sacrifices start to chip away at your edge. The hunger that drove you to build, to improve, to push forward begins to fade. You stop chasing big goals because you convince yourself you've already arrived now that you have her. Your life becomes comfortable, predictable, safe, and in that comfort, you lose the very energy that drew her to you. Women are attracted to men who are in motion, men who are pursuing something beyond them, men who have a fire burning inside. When you trade that fire for constant availability, you become dull in her eyes. You become easy to predict, easy to move, easy to control. And deep down, she doesn't want to control you. She wants to feel like she's walking alongside a man who is already headed somewhere worth going. She wants to feel proud of you, inspired by you, challenged by you. When she sees that your mission still matters more than her momentary moods, she doesn't feel neglected, she feels drawn to you. Because it tells her you are solid, unshakable, a man who won't collapse under pressure. And that stability reignites her respect and keeps the polarity alive far longer than constant attention ever could. The truth is, love cannot survive without respect, and respect cannot exist without boundaries. Most men give everything away too quickly. They share every thought, every fear, every insecurity, hoping that vulnerability will make her feel closer. They say yes to everything, avoid conflict, and bend themselves into shapes they think will make her stay. But every time you ignore your own standards to keep the peace, you lose a little more of yourself. You think you're protecting the relationship, but what you're really doing is teaching her that she can move you. That your word means nothing if she pushes hard enough. A woman doesn't fall in love with a man she can control, she falls in love with a man who stays true to himself no matter what. That doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means knowing where your lines are and holding them with calm, steady strength. It means saying no when you need to. It means being willing to lose her rather than lose yourself. Paradoxically, that's what makes her feel safest with you. Because deep down, she doesn't want to lead you. She doesn't want to be with a man who gives up his ground just to avoid upsetting her. She wants to know that no matter what storm she brings, you will remain standing. That is what allows her to fully trust you, because trust is built when she knows you won't betray yourself just to please her. And when a woman can trust you at that level, her respect deepens, her attraction grows, and she feels more drawn to you than ever before. When a man reclaims his center, everything changes. He stops chasing constant validation from her and begins to focus on becoming whole within himself. He starts waking up with purpose again, pouring his energy back into his goals, his health, his craft, his vision for life. He remembers what it feels like to pursue something that excites him, something that isn't tied to her approval. And ironically, this is when she starts to look at him differently. The same man she was pulling away from suddenly feels magnetic again, not because he's trying to win her back, but because he's living in a way that commands respect. She feels the shift in his energy. He's calmer, more grounded, less reactive. He doesn't flinch when she tests him. He doesn't scramble to explain himself or fight for reassurance. He simply stands firm and lets his actions speak. This is when she feels safe leaning back into his frame, because she knows he will not crumble. And even if she doesn't come back, he has already won, because he has become the kind of man who no longer needs her to validate him. The man who can walk away with dignity, who can stay silent instead of begging, who can rebuild his life without bitterness or revenge, is the man who becomes truly free. And freedom is what gives him power. Power to choose, power to lead, power to love from a place of strength rather than fear. This is where real attraction is born and where it stays alive, not in obsession or control, but in a man who is complete, unshakable, and committed to living fully, with or without her.